Columbus Blue Jackets hockey on Fox Sports Ohio, brought to you by IGS Energy. Take control of your natural gas and electricity costs and enroll today at IGSenergy.com. By Nationwide. Nationwide is on your side. Find a local agent on Nationwide.com. By your Central Ohio Toyota dealer. Visit buyatoyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. And by Huntington. At Huntington, you can bank like a real fan. Get your Blue Jackets debit card at bluejacketsbanking.com. It's a hockey night in Central Ohio. And a historic night it is as the Blue Jackets play their 1,000th game in search of an 8th straight victory, which would continue a franchise record. Sergei Bobrovsky, first ever start against his ex-mates. Since returning from injury, he is 6-0 with a 1.94 goals against average and a .937 save percentage. At the opposite end, Ray Emery starts ahead of Steve Mason, much to the disappointment of the Blue Jacket fans. 3-1-1 in 6 appearances against Columbus. A goals against average of 3.02 and a save percentage of .886. There is the veteran referee Paul Dvorsky, joined by Justin St. Pierre, Brian Murphy, and Brian Panchich are the linesmen. Jackets wearing their alternate third jerseys. Flyers in their traveling whites, in tonight's telecast presented in high definition by Time Warner Cable. And we are underway. Puck in neutral ice. Hammered in by the ex-Blue Jacket, Jake Voracek. Bobrovsky will leave it right there. A pass on that right wing for Cam Atkinson. Jackets march out of the zone. Here comes Dubinsky. Matt Calvert, who did not practice yesterday or this morning, in the lineup tonight, as promised by Coach Todd Richards. And a clearing pass sent wide there for Voracek, who hammers in. 30-plus seconds gone. As we mentioned from the outset, Flyers had a makeup game against Carolina last night due to the snowstorm in the Philadelphia area on Tuesday night. They traveled here late, and much of the disappointment of head coach Craig Berube telling me this morning he would much have preferred playing the Blue Jackets fresh and had the game scheduled as originally played on Tuesday night. Up high, Murray, a centering pass in the slot, knocked away by Strike. Flyers march out of the zone, and here's Hartnell backhanding it in. Berube has switched up the forward lines tonight. And our first glimpse here in the opening period of the clearing pass there by R.J. Umberger, who picked up a couple of goals in that win over Los Angeles. A solid game, perhaps Umberger's best in a couple of seasons.
What Berube's trying to do, they did not start that game very well last night. He's trying to get everybody's attention from the drop of the puck.
Anisimov takes that pass from Wisniewski. Anisimov looking for Horton. The puck rolling off his stick. This is Horton's first game against the Flyers, having returned to the lineup on January 2nd in Phoenix. But in his last 12 games against Philadelphia, including playoffs, 6 goals and an equal number of assists. And here he comes down that right wing. Horton with 6 points and a +1 in his 9 games as a Blue Jacket. A shot by Nikitin, knocked down in front. Jenner tried to shovel it home. Jenner, incidentally, picking up the game-winning goal in the previous meeting between these two teams right here in Columbus. There's Anisimov looking for Horton, who knocks it out of the air. Good hand-eye coordination. Walks out, sends it back up high. Nikitin, who has certainly stepped up his game. Glove there by Emery and held. And that will enable us to check out tonight's Toyota Keys, presented by your Central Ohio Toyota dealer.
Well, Philly plays the back-to-back game, as Jeff and I just discussed. Again, knowing that, you want to expose maybe a little bit of tiredness in their game. Get them to play 200 feet. Defense, the role for both teams. How do they come into this game? The last time this team's played, the defense for Philadelphia, 15 shots on goal. 4-line grind, that's, again, a positive for the Jackets. They've got to start it, they've got to stay out of the box, and utilize those 4 lines effectively.
From the draw, Tootin fires one in. Screened in front there was Emery, but the puck bounced off into the corner. Van de Velde, jersey number 76, given an opportunity. Hall on the forecheck. Finishes a hit there on Fedor Tootin, who returned to the lineup Tuesday against Los Angeles after missing the 2 previous games with an illness. Jack Johnson avoids a hit, dumps it into the zone. Laid behind the net, Joe Johnson, with 6 assists in the last 5 games. As we mentioned from the outset, his game has gone to another level here since the start of January and since He disappointingly was not selected to play for Team USA despite previously playing 10 times for Hockey USA, and a chance in front goes off the pad of Emery. Calvert throws it back in front. This time Emery will cover up. And here is the aforementioned Craig Berube, who took over after Peter Laviolette was dismissed early on in the season. The former Washington Capital, Philadelphia Flyer player, along with Calgary Flames, certainly has brought some stability behind that bench.
He has. You know, he wanted a little bit sharper focus in that game last night. Said, but it has to start with the feet. The focus wasn't there, and the feet weren't moving.
3+ minutes gone in the opening period. Jackets. Murray on to Dubinsky. Dubinsky has owned this Metropolitan Division in 19 division games, while Dubinsky has 21 points, 7 goals, and 14 assists. And no stranger to this Flyer hockey club whatsoever. The former Ranger loves playing Philadelphia. And it shows. There's Atkinson dealing it ahead. Dubinsky tried to get a stick on it, knocked down there by Calvert, fired into the zone, and Emery will play as both teams change up.
And Jeff, that comfort level, it does. It comes with each and every game. You see that jersey, you have a little bit different feeling, and you come out and you're able to produce.
Well, let's check out tonight's Elk and Elk injury report. The Jackets' injury situation certainly is improving. Marian Gaborik, incidentally, skated today, not in equipment, but he skated today, wants to play in the Olympics for his home country, Slovakia. Como took part in the morning skate. Jared Bull, I'm happy to say, has now lost the boot and is walking in street shoes again, but Bull is a ways away. Gaborik hopes to play before the Olympic break. He's going to have another MRI on that broken collarbone. And, of course, Como appears not too far away from returning to the lineup, and that's great news. Here is Johansson. Ryan Johansson carries in. Johansson, a hero in each of the last 2 games, sends it in front, and there's Emery robbing Umberger from point-blank range.
Well, a beautiful play. Johansson does exactly what you need to do. You have a defenseman or a forward just throwing you off to the side. Look at Messeros, just mirror his image, and then he looks for that secondary flow coming in on that back side, right onto the stick of Umberger. But look at Emery. It hit him right into the logo, and there was nothing but net on that glove side.
Horton having a word with the veteran referee, Paul Dvorsky. Anisimov set for the face-off, and Horton's going to get the respect. A veteran player. Oh, that's off the crossbar. Right off the pipe. Shot, attempting to roof it, and it went right off the crossbar from that draw. Grossman deals far side there for strike. Anisimov on the forecheck. Tootin able to sweep it back behind the net. Emery will play it. Emery in the corner there for Grossman. Hunt up on that wing now. Horton finishing a check. Far side, Tootin wrists it in to Philadelphia territory. Horton stepping into Grossman. Anisimov on that board battle. Anisimov game. We talk about Jackets players improving. Anisimov is yet another one of the Blue Jackets that's game has gone to another level here. Horton continues to pressure deep in the zone. Off the glove of Emery, flashing the leather. It went right off the catching hand and away goes Braden Shen. Shen sweeps in. Simmons in pursuit. Up on that far side. Thrown to the point. Luke Shen, Braden's older brother, missing the mark. Braden now fires a shot that's kicked aside by Bobrovsky. Tossed behind the net. Simmons. 6 power play goals in a little over a month. He is red hot. And the Flyers are on the power play. The Jackets must be aware of that.
You look at that power play, Giroux on the half board, and then you've got Hartnell as well. He positions himself into the high slot, so they get 2 men looking for rebounds.
Up on that right wing, the long shot by Downey, held by Bobrovsky. We will step aside. Jackets with 5 of the first 7 shots, no score.
Game number 1,000 in the Columbus Blue Jackets franchise history. How proud would John H. McConnell be to see the crowd on hand for this one? And how proud would he be of his hockey team, guys? Winners of 7 in a row, the longest active winning streak in the NHL, and going for number 8 tonight against these Flyers. A special night at Nationwide, to be sure, guys.
Oh, for sure. And, you know, Mr. Mack His gift to the city of Columbus was major professional sports. And Bill, you've been here since day number one. He would have been very, very proud of this hockey club.
Well, all the accolades would go to the fans. He would not want anything to do with it. He said this was for the city and the fans. It's all theirs.
And, of course, his son, John P., and the other minority owners, very, very proud of this young hockey club that is certainly making noise around the National Hockey League, and they hope to continue it here tonight on this historic night. Here, Dubinsky walks to the front of the net. Nice play there. A great effort there. The Flyers expected him to attempt a wraparound, but he went for the short side there and almost surprised Emery by stuffing it home.
That's a good way to start to create a little offense. Throw it off the pads, throw it off the stick, catch him, a little element of surprise.
Great work there by Dubinsky. Puck turned over by the Jackets. You don't want to do that. Reed handing there to Hartnell. Hartnell walks in front. Bobrovsky down. The net dislodged but not displaced. A scramble in front. Flyers thought they found the back of the net. And the Jackets, after that ill-advised turnover, are able to clear the zone. Some anxious moments there. Foligno had it roll off his stick. It's got to settle down there. Here's Foligno. Nice play. Moves into the zone. Foligno now. Sends it into the slot. Johansson tried to go backhand up to the forehand. The puck just got away. Johansson slides it back to the defense. Foligno's 4 points in his last 4 games against the Flyers. Tried to make a nice play there, and here he rims it around the wall. Far side. Luke Schenn. Up high, Umberger. On for Nikitin. Chip to the corner. Schenn will pick it up. Schenn, former high draft pick of the Toronto Maple Leafs. Grossman dumps in. Bobrovsky unable to trap it. Here, Anisimov. Bouncing puck. Anisimov fighting off Simmons. Moved by Jenner off the glass and out to center ice. Anisimov. Onto that right wing for Nathan Horton. Horton back for Anisimov. Backhanded. Jenner walks to the front of the net. Tried to send it off the pad of Emery and into that far corner. Just a reminder as you enjoy a cold one to look forward to Miller time later in tonight's contest. It's brought to you by Miller Lite. And I'm just wondering if goaltending coach Ian Clark, as you get a look at Boone Jenner, if there's something that they're looking at here with Ray Emery, because they continue to try to bank that puck off the pads of the Flyers netminder. Keep an eye on that through the balance of this hockey game.
I think there's a lot of instinct as well. These young players starting to grow and understand that they can create offense from really odd situations. You mentioned the Dubinsky play, and how about right there where Jenner again tries to force the issue. So many goals right now, it's tough to beat the goaltender one-on-one. And that element of surprise, whether you're just coming off the boards, trying to jam it in short side, that's what they're looking for.
Well, right now, I huddle over at the timekeeper's bench here, the off-ice officials. We're getting word that Toronto is now reviewing that scramble in front of the Columbus net. And we're going to get a look at it here right now. They're waiting for our replay here, no doubt. And let's get a look at it right here.
Well, you had a chance to watch the players away from the play. The Philadelphia Flyers, they were in a position where they had their hands up in the air. They couldn't see the puck. That was a good illustration of it. It was nowhere near the back of the net. But again, the defense of the Philadelphia Flyers, the hands were up. Everybody was cheering, but to no avail.
Let's take a look from the overhead, but certainly by that last replay did not appear to go in. Look at this. It's off the back of Bobrovsky. And the puck never crossed the line you saw in that earlier replay. So this should be a short conversation, and we should be back into Philadelphia territory for the resumption of play.
Well, there's a look at Todd Richards, and the talk around today was the 1,000th game, and he was asked about, he says, our approach right now is very simple. Our focus and our attitude has to be constant. We've got to continue to come out each and every night, and tonight it's the biggest game that we've got so far. Why? Because it's the next one.
Well, as we showed you at home, and the folks in Toronto just looked, no goal. The official review is over. Puck never crossed the line. Far from it. Although, again, one of the Flyer players raised his stick in the air as if he thought the puck had crossed that line. Here, that one does. And the Blue Jackets on the bounce. Jack Johnson will get credit for it as it went off a Flyer. And there's the first goal of the game. 1-0 Columbus. Jack Johnson continues his red-hot play.
Well, everything begins by winning that little one-on-one battle, and look at the tenacity of McKenzie. They do lose the battle. It goes to the corner, and then the issue was forced, and you can see Johnson right down in front of the net just firing it. You get a chance to see Corey Tropp as well. Tries to get a stick on it, but it goes off of Luke Schenn into the back of the net to make it a 1-0 game.
That is Jack Johnson's goal, and he continues now with 7 points in the last 6 games. Jack Johnson trying to again show that Hockey USA and the Olympic group that they made a mistake not selecting Johnson to patrol the blue line come the Olympics in Sochi. And he's doing his talking strictly with his play on the ice. Unassisted goal, his 3rd of the season.
Well, there is a look at Jack Johnson. And you talked about his statistics. You talked about the offense that he and Tootin have started to add to this hockey team. And each and every night, they are usually matched out up against the other team's best players. Right there, just forcing the front of the net. You have a little bit of traffic. But off of Luke Schenn and in, and that is an unassisted goal.
Johansson wins the draw. Flyers walk out of the zone. Into Columbus territory. Wide of Savard. Play called with Bobrovsky down, covering up.
Well, there's a good look at Matt Reed. Again, and young man, undrafted, coming out of Bemidji. Played his junior B up in St. Mary's, Ontario. Went off to the USHL. Had a chance to play a few years there. But tell you what, he knows how to score goals. His rookie year led all rookies in scoring with 24 goals. Good speed, good hands.
Face off to Bobrovsky's left. And from the draw. Played by Reed once more in the corner. Slides it back here to Streit. Streit dancing in. Back to Couturier. The shot blocked by the stick of Nathan Horton. Following throw, and it's ripped wide of the net off the stick. And the right-handed shooting Reed was on that left wing. Jackets Anisimov sprints down the right wing to center. Jenner on that left wing, sent in. Jenner first in with Anisimov. Jenner walking away from Streit. Waiting up high there is Savard. Banging his stick, wants that puck. Anisimov will get it. He'll throw up high here to Savard. The open man, Nikitin, fires in. Streit got in front of it. Jenner will play it. Boom, Jenner back for Nikitin, who drills it wide. Horton plays it off the boards. Thrown behind the net for Jenner. Jackets with some great work. And a penalty here as Jenner is hauled down. The Jackets will go to the power play. Dvorsky will call a tripping minor to the Flyers, and the Jackets will have the first manpower advantage of the night, and it'll be the red-hot power play. 9 for the last 29, 31%.
Philadelphia's got 2 for Tripp, 2 for Slash.
Oh, boy.
Wow.
And how did this all start? It was the work that the Jackets were doing below the goal line. Boone Jenner had great puck protection, and they continued to battle. They won the little one-on-ones, and in that scenario, you see that he took the slash initially, and then as he's going down, you watch the trip. So a double minor. You mentioned the Jackets now have an opportunity to certainly build on a part of the game that we worked on hard, and they're finding right now a little bit of success.
Well, the Jackets, with Hartnell going off their hit, though, they just put the 4 minutes up there now. You heard Dvorsky make the call. And a double minor assessed to Hartnell. The Jackets, who are second by 1/10 of a percentage point behind the Ducks, whose power plays 31.1. Again, the Jackets, 31% here over the last 9 games, winning 8 of those 9. And it's all in the new year. Jack Johnson on to Wisniewski, who leads the Jackets in power play points. The Blue Jackets come in tonight. They've climbed all the way to 12th. The power play efficiency drilled. Big rebound off the leg and pad of Emery. The Jackets unable to get to it. We've passed the midway point of this opening period. Jack Johnson now. Backhand pass there for Foligno. Back for Jack Johnson. Wisniewski, top of the circle in front. Foligno tried to redirect that home. Could not get a stick on it. He had Emery beat had he been able to play it. Johnson keeps it in. Johansson away from Van Velde. And the zone is cleared there by Hall. The Jackets will regroup. They'll get some fresh legs on, as do the Flyers on the penalty kill.
Now, this is a part of the game that the Jackets really have been concentrating on. Their entries into the zone. Then once they get there, they try not to segment the issue.
Dubinsky, Atkinson, Calvert up front. Jack Johnson and Murray on the points. 3 power play units now employed by Coach Todd Richards. This is the second of the 3. Dubinsky fires. Big rebound again. Jackets can't get to it. Emery is gift wrapping those rebounds in the slot.
One thing the Philadelphia Flyers will do, they will pressure. Again, they'll come after you. Matt Reed has a couple of shorthanded goals to boot.
Flyers have matched the Jackets each with 5 shorthanded goals. Drop pass here for Letestu's. Third unit is out there now. Letestu had it roll off his stick and fired down the ice by the Flyers as we approach the end of the first of the double minors to Hartnell. 2 minutes, 2 seconds remain. Jackets move up ice. Ryan Murray carries into the zone, and again the Flyers are able to knock it free and dump it down.
You know, it's an individual effort versus exactly what they want to do. They want speed. They want to be able to move that back, and then it's quick passes as they get across the line as they kick it out to the wings.
Letestu almost gave it away deep in his own zone. Here's Horton now. 3 shots on that first power play. Letestu drops it back. Wisniewski unable to keep it in.
See the pressure. They'll come right out to the blue line, try to force the issue.
These cross-ice passes. Couturier almost picking it off. 7:25 left. Flyers get it again and dump it down. Couturier remaining out there. James Wisniewski at center. Drops it back for Johansson. Coming with speed. Johansson across the line, but offside. 1:08 left. The Jackets power play.
Well, Columbus Blue Jackets hockey is brought to you by Nationwide Insurance, the official insurance provider of your Columbus Blue Jackets. And remember, Nationwide is on your side. Well, there's a look at R.J. Umberger. Again, his power play stats have certainly increased. 6 power play goals on the year, and the majority of those a foot away from the top of the crease.
Played by Grossman, turns it over. Jackets. Foligno drops it for Johansson. Johansson. Jack Johnson off the skate of Reed. And Jack Johnson will retreat all the way behind Bobrovsky. 6:50 left. Johnson steps to center. Drops it back. Johansson takes the pass from Foligno. Hands to Wisniewski. Rimmed around the boards. Foligno in pursuit. Umberger waits there. Along the far boards. It's swept behind. Grossman will play it. 30 seconds left, and the Flyers have done a terrific job here on this double minor, not giving the Jackets, other than the initial spurt where they had 3 shots, much of an opportunity to set up in the offensive zone. And here's Jack Johnson dropping it back. Atkinson onto Dubinsky. 15 seconds remain. Jack Johnson hanging on. Throws it into the slot. The active stick there of Timonen. Wisniewski onto Dubinsky. Final seconds, and it's cleared. Hartnell stands at the penalty bench. And that pass almost picked off there by the Flyers' Raffl. And the Blue Jackets did not get a shot on goal on the second of the double minors. And again, it was just that flurry initially with the 3 shots on the first of the double minors. The Jackets were able to do much in front of Ray Emery.
Now this is where they've got to get some air back into this building very quickly.
Puck played to the point. Drilled there by Timonen and deflected off Schenn, just bouncing wide of the net. Far side, that's Matt Calvert. Jackets passing not very crisp here over the last 8 or 10 minutes, and in particular on that power play.
Just looked again, a little bit too much thought instead of reacting to what they have.
Puck dumped in. Bobrovsky. Voracek gets a stick on it. Schenn in front. Could not pull the trigger. Delayed penalty upcoming now against the Jackets. This one drilled. And it goes off the leg and wide. Flyers play. They've got the extra attacker on with Emery out. Philadelphia's come to life here. killing off that double minor, and they're seconds away from a power play. Big save, big rebound played by the Blue Jackets. As we step aside, a look at the only goal of this opening period by Jack Johnson on the redirect off the Flyers. Shen in front, 1-0.
That Steve Mason will get a chance to get a start here at Nationwide Arena. But after the snow out in Philadelphia, that was not the case. But go back in time. Wayne Simmons, Luke Shen, Steve Mason, they won the gold medal back in 2008 for the 4th consecutive gold medal for Canada. And who was the guy behind it? Well, it was the guy by the name of Craig Hartsburg. Craig Hartsburg coached that junior team and also had a little bit to do with the success of Wayne Simmons, as well as Ray Emery, the goaltender out of Cayuga, Ontario. I'll tell you, you can look around the National Hockey League. Craig Hartsburg's had his thumb and his imprint on a lot of young men that have made it to the National Hockey League.
Not to mention what he has done since becoming an assistant coach here with the Blue Jackets. And in particular, working with young Ryan Murray and the other young defensemen, David Savard, Dalton Prout, Tim Erickson, who's back in Springfield. Flyers on the power play for the first time. Giroux fires, pad save, rebound, chopped wide of the net by Tootin himself. Horton in the penalty box. The call is hooking. Jackets shorthanded. 8 shorthanded goals given up here by the Flyers. That's amongst the most in the National Hockey League. 8 shorthanded goals against. Less than 90 seconds left on the power play. Flyers come in 18th best and leading the way on the power play is Giroux, their captain. 20 power play points. 16 of them are assists. Handed to Dubinsky and then chopped down the ice. Dubinsky looking over his shoulder and wondering about Letestu chopping that puck right to him there in the slot. Nonetheless, he was able to clear it down the ice, but he did take a second look at his line mate there. Here, carried in. This is Lecavalier. Lecavalier turns it over to Anisimov. Anisimov and Dubinsky through the neutral zone. That door on that Flyer bench open, that could have been awfully dangerous there, as Anisimov was hammered along the boards. He's all right. As play continues, Strike walks into the zone. Strike dumping behind the net. Wisniewski will play it. Downey is there. It's swept back here to Couturier at the left point. Onto that right side. Traffic in front of Bobrovsky. Power play less than 30 left. Jackets much improved. They've killed off 23 the last 28. Final seconds, 20. And that Horton penalty. This is all for Columbus since the streak started. Last 7 games, the Blue Jackets killed off with these final seconds in the Horton call. 24 of the last 29.
Hey fans, text the keyword skate to 90561 now to enter the Fox Sports Ohio Florida Flyaway Contest. You could win a trip to Florida in April to see the Jackets take on the Tampa Bay Lightning in Tampa. And again, tonight's keyword is skate. Text it to 90561 or enter at bluejackets.com/Florida Flyaway for your chance to win.
Well, Flyers are getting called here for a penalty. So the Jackets in 3 seconds will get a power play. Downey goes off. Jackets are 0 for 2 with 3 shots. Horton getting his instructions. He is standing at the penalty bench. Down to 1 second. Jackets are on the power play for the 3rd time tonight. Downey in the box. And here's Jack Johnson sending it across ice. 2:40 left. Wisniewski on to Foligno. Foligno taking the pass back there from Umberger. Toss to the point. Downey serving the Flyer penalty for too many men on the ice. Here is Foligno into the slot. Johansson. Ryan Johansson from that half wall walking to the front. Umberger. It goes off the defender, Couturier, and Emery able to cover up.
Well, again, the Jackets get themselves into the position of basically setting up their triangle off the half boards. Now, when Johansson gets there, they like to be able to get moving right away if they can. In other words, Umberger taking that initial step so that he's a little closer to the front of the net and then creating the offense off of that shot, off the pad, off the stick, or even off the side of the net.
Minute 19 left in the Jackets power play. Horton, Anisimov, and Letestu working up front. Anisimov hands to Letestu, cross ice, moving in, the shot sent wide. Glorious scoring opportunity there. Ryan Murray coming off the point. And everybody backpedaling. Now Murray for the point for Nikitin, on to Letestu. Nathan Horton sets the screen in front. Anisimov drills it. It goes off the stick of Horton and wide. Horton hustling to it. Deals it back here to Murray. Murray for Horton. Stepping up was Coburn. And the Flyers are able to chop it down. 45 seconds remain. Things get, again, switched up here as far as both penalty killing and power play for Columbus with 90 seconds left. And now 35 seconds of the power play. Nikitin from one knee. On to Dubinsky. Matt Calvert hands to Cam Atkinson. Dubinsky pressured along the wall. Calvert trying to fish it free. Atkinson does that. Atkinson hangs on. Oh, Matt Calvert right there in front, and it goes off Emery's glove. A nice pass there by Atkinson to Matt Calvert. Here's Atkinson. 10 seconds left. Stepping up Nikitin at the goal line. Less than a minute to go. Dubinsky. Final seconds of the Jackets power play. Up high, Ryan Murray. Down he stands to the penalty bench. Dubinsky lets one fly. Bouncing puck in front. Emery will cover up. And with 51.5 seconds left and the penalty now completed, we will step aside. Back with a final minute of play in this first period right after this.
Wide with Mark Letestu. Mark, the momentum has swung back and forth. How do you even that out a little bit?
Well, I think we did it right there. We're getting that power play. The first power play wasn't great, but the second one, getting in there, creating some chance, creating some momentum for us.
I know Coach Richards would like to see you invest in the third period a little bit. How do you do that? Not only the remainder of this period, which isn't much, but then through the second period as well.
Oh, I think getting in the forecheck and finishing their D. Big or small, you finish D all night, they're going to slow down come the third, and that's going to play to our advantage.
He almost sounds like a coach already, Jeff. Again, he knows it. He sees the ice. He knows the what's going on throughout the course of this hockey game. Excellent job by Mark Letestu.
Puck played there by Atkinson. Matt Calvert pressures, fights off the check of Grossman. Again, Dubinsky with a wraparound attempt. Dubinsky's got a nose for the net here tonight. We'll have to see him rewarded. Voracek carries in. Big Voracek trying to walk to the net. Don't want to give up that late goal, and Bobrovsky got that left pad on it. Voracek with a nice play. Voracek was slashed in a recent game, continued to play despite the injury. Did not finish the game, not the last game against Carolina, but that previous game. He still favors that left hand. In fact, watching him go over to the bench there, taking the glove off momentarily.
He got that extra day. That snow out on Tuesday. He played last night. Gives him that extra day to get himself well.
So the first period comes to an end. Jackets get the lone goal. Jack Johnson with his third at 8:20. Columbus outshoot the Flyers 14-9. But after 20 minutes of play, the Blue Jackets in game number 1,000 tonight on this historic night lead 1-0.
All your highlights, interviews, and analysis right here after every game.
On Blue Jackets Live, presented by IGS Energy.
I'm James Wisniewski. Think you're a poker superstar? Prove it. Join me and my teammates for Blue Jacket Poker Night at Hollywood Casino. Text the word Hollywood to 90561 for your chance to win and get in.
Visit BlueJackets.com/Hollywood for more information on how to win and get into Blue Jackets Poker Night at Hollywood Casino. Proud partner of the Columbus Blue Jackets. There's no place like Hollywood.
Enough of this golf already. How much of the golf? I'm stupid. You're stupid.
Boys, settle down. At Time Warner Cable, any of these devices can be your TV at the click of a button. No one offers more sports on more devices than Time Warner Cable.
Why do you got a laptop? I want the cell phone.
Give me that laptop. Call 1-855-WANT-TWC and ask how you can save up to $600. Switch to a better entertainment experience, guaranteed. Time Warner Cable. Enjoy better.
Columbus Blue Jackets hockey on Fox Sports Ohio, brought to you by Ohio Health, the official healthcare provider of your Columbus Blue Jackets. By Ticketmaster, score, get the only NHL tickets sold by fans, verified by Ticketmaster. It's all hockey, no hassle right now at NHL.com/ticket exchange. And by 5 Hour Energy, helps recognize those who, despite their own needs, put others first. Set for second period play. Jack Johnson with the lone goal. But our IGS Energy performer for the opening period of play, Sergei Bobrovsky, the former Flyer, who turned aside all 9 shots that he faced in this, his first ever start against Philadelphia. We are set for second period play. Teams have traded ends. Jackets tonight honor the franchise's 1,000th game and look to extend their unbeaten streak to 8 games, extending the franchise record. Here's Fedor-Tutin away from Coburn, backhanded into the zone. Oh, good hit there along the boards by Dubinsky on Giroux, who's back is to the play. Jack Johnson off the point. Timonen is there, off the netting. Dubinsky with a backhander. And Dubinsky has attempted a number of shots here tonight as he's played from behind that net and tried to walk out in on goaltender Emery a number of times.
Jeff, you mentioned it. He has had success against Philadelphia. Why doesn't it continue?
Here a turn for Johansson as Emery went wandering. Puck played by Ruffle. Out of the zone. Grossman dishes on that right wing. Played there by Murray to the far side for Wisniewski. Reed moves it along. Foligno and Umberger both attempt to get a stick on it, but the Flyers play it. Thrown back to the point. Here's a shot, and it's turned aside. A second attempt there by Couturier after the initial shot by Strike. Johansson on to Wisniewski. Rifled in deep in Philadelphia territory. Johansson using that big body to win that battle. Throws to Wisniewski again off the backboard. Johansson plays it. Johansson, wraparound attempt. Foligno couldn't get to the rebound. You can just see the confidence oozing out of Ryan Johansson. And you know what? It's something that Coach Todd Richards talked about this morning through this winning streak. The Jackets youngsters gaining confidence. The hockey club is gaining confidence. And you can just see it in their play.
Here, it's part of the growth.
Off the wall. Picked up. Moving in. A shot denied. Rebound. Scores. Staying with it there was Braden Shen, and he's able to tie up the hockey game. A couple of stops by Bobrovsky, and then Shen tucks home the second rebound to tie it up.
Well, the Philadelphia Flyers take advantage of a turnover at that offense or their defensive blue line right here. You can see Murray trying to get up ice. And look at the play by Shen. Stays with it once, twice, and then from below the goal line and the long stick, he's able to find the back of the net. What an effort right there by Braden Shen. And basically that was all by himself.
Well, we mentioned the staying there and not skating around. So many times we've illustrated where players will continue to skate after the initial shot. As we mentioned, he stayed with it. And now the Jackets come back. Horton unable to pull the trigger. There's Savard on for Nikitin. Picked up here by Horton. Horton turning it over to LeCavalier. Unassisted goal for Shen. His 14th. So both of the goals here tonight thus far of the unassisted variety. Shen sends it up, but not out. Puck played there by Anisimov. Luke Shen. On for LeCavalier. Picked off here by Horton. Good work. Dances away. Tries to center. It's picked up there by Simmons and thrown up out of that left wing. Luke Shen. Trying to hit the Flyers forward at the line. Jackets Letestu steers ahead. Jackets fourth line here, the energy line. An effort to create something here. Jackets have been all around Ray Emery in that Flyer net. They have outshot Philadelphia 17-13. Tutin on ahead. McKenzie. There's Letestu. Loose puck cycling out of the corner. Jackets from the right point. Jack Johnson, rebound chopped ahead, right to Jack Johnson again. Good effort to keep it in. There's an attempted shot that goes off Grossman. McKenzie on to Letestu in the slot, and he ripped it wide. Letestu on for Corey Trout. Trout to Letestu. Backhanded for Calvert. Here's a drive, and that one ricochets off that backboard and right back in front. Now the Jackets. We said this fourth line would create something. They're doing just that. They're all over the Flyers here right now. Jack Johnson here, unable to keep it in.
And then the way it started was a big hit by McKenzie to get that line going.
Murray Trop late in the shift. Sends it in, takes a bit of an elbow along the wall there from Hall. Moved by Emery. Atkinson chops it wide of the net. Talbot in pursuit. Approaching the 5-minute mark of the second period. Atkinson finishing the check. Flyers walk out of the zone. Pass here. Ahead for Giroux. Drop pass there. Jackets come up with it. Atkinson bumped off the puck there by Ruffle. Schenn. Back on the ice as Coburn dumps in. Up on that left wing, centering pass. Kick save and a beauty. From point-blank range. Bobrovsky gets the left pad on it. Here, he'll cover up on the edge of the goal crease.
But before the Jackets hit the ice, get ready to join the battle on Blue Jackets Live on Fox Sports Ohio. Blue Jackets Live is brought to you by your Central Ohio Toyota dealers. Let's go places. Well, there's a look at Bobrovsky. Again, 15 shots. He has 14 saves. And here to start period number 2, Philadelphia Flyers. A couple of pretty good shifts. A good step in that offensive zone. Jackets some glorious opportunities back the other way, Jeff. A couple of missed nets. They've got to continue to converge on the goaltender, Emery.
Well, they, even going back to the first period, had a number of quality scoring chances from in tight. They just missed tucking it home. Emery has faced a total of 18 shots and turned aside 17 of them, but the Jackets certainly have fired a few missed ones as well. There is Foligno looking for R.J. Umberger. Johansson in pursuit. Finishing a check there on Coburn. Far side, Reed. Umberger comes up with it. Mazzaros gets clipped with a high stick there. Delayed penalty upcoming here to Umberger. Out of the net goes Emery. Got the long march to that Flyer bench. Mazzaros heads off. And the Flyers. And to Giroux. Delayed call against the Blue Jackets. Johansson had a stick on it, albeit briefly. No control, and here Foligno gets a stick on it and play whistle down. R.J. Umberger will go off for high sticking. The question is now, will it be 2 or 4?
Let's a look at Justin St. Pierre going over, taking a look at the facial area.
2 minutes.
Just a 2-minute minor.
Yeah, no blood.
We got Columbus penalty, 2 minutes for high stick.
You take a look down in the corner in the war zone, and just turning to the stick, Umberger has it up about shoulder height as he goes to look at the puck right here. Zaros coming in. He's the recipient. He goes down, but again, just a 2-minute minor.
Flyers' second power play. They're 0 for 1. They had 1 shot on the previous attempt. Jackets will start Letestu and McKenzie up front. Tootin and Jack Johnson are on the points.
You got to be aware of Giroux on the half-board. He is the quarterback of this power play right off the wall.
16 assists, 20 points to lead Philly. But again, they've given up 8 shorthanded goals. Jackets have scored 5. Emery deals to the corner. Letestu's on it. Chops it ahead. It goes off the skate of a Flyer player and the official. And Philadelphia march out of their own zone. Through and across the line, dealt up on that left wing. Drop back here for Giroux. Voracek waits up high. Jake Voracek to the net. Deflected there by Simmons. 9 power play goals to lead Philadelphia. And you got a stick on that one. There's Voracek looking for Simmons. Puck played. Giroux up high. Less than 13 and a half left here in the second. Voracek. Simmons sets the screen in front of Bobrovsky. Dump back to the point. Timonen. Voracek. Giroux looking for the one-timer. Gets it back here to Timonen. Voracek waits patiently near circle. Timonen lets one fly. That's wide. Comes right off that backboard. The lively play there. Toss back ahead here to Timonen. On to Voracek. Played far side now by Giroux. Timonen. Giroux. 43 seconds left. There's Bobrovsky in the edge of the crease. Simmons waiting right just outside the paint. But Bobrovsky holds on.
Well, the Jackets are back at Nationwide Arena this Saturday, January 25th. They'll take on the Buffalo Sabres, 7 o'clock start, then home again to face the Ottawa Senators on Tuesday, January 28th. That also at 7. Get your tickets now at BlueJackets.com or via the Blue Jackets mobile app.
Buffalo leading tonight at home to Carolina 2-1. And you got to look there at Jake Voracek. Voracek, 4 points, 93 career goals, 2 goals against the Blue Jackets. Far side, one-timer LeCavalier. He shoots and scores. It's a power play goal. And the Flyers have their first lead.
And that's what they've been waiting for Vincent LeCavalier, who has been in a goalless drought. But you can see good puck movement. They get the thing out high. They utilize the wingers wide. And then the one-timer by LeCavalier. Again, the face-off won by Philadelphia. You see Schenn being able to move it. LeCavalier, he kicks himself out along the half board. And then the movement back to the point. And then once you get the defense moving back and forth, they find the seam backside. That's where an active stick. You want to be able to take away this pass right there. But unable to do so, LeCavalier beats Bobrovsky with traffic down in front of the net.
11th of the season for LeCavalier, his 6th power play tally. And the Flyers lead for the first time tonight as we approach the midway point of the second period and the hockey game. Shots are now even at 18. David Savard gets it to Nikitin. Tossed in front. This is Umberger. R.J. Umberger. A pair of goals in the season series. Umberger drops it back for Nikitin. Looking there for Foligno. Coburn with a poke check. Plays the puck for Philadelphia. Drops it back. Moved ahead into Columbus territory where Nikitin will quickly dish. David Savard. Clearing pass picked off by Couturier and dumped back in. The Blue Jackets passing tonight has not been as crisp as we have seen through this winning streak. Here's a break though. Anisimov drops it for Horton. And somehow Emery got a piece of that one. Foligno with a hard hit. Down he goes back with a shove. Streit and Nazaros draw the assists. Jackets, Anisimov. Certainly an extra jump in his step for these last several games. Horton attempt to center it. Down he got a stick on it. Anisimov along the wall. Voracek tosses far side. Nazaros dumping it out. Picked up here by Anisimov. Jackets cruise back into the zone. Pressure now from Boone Jenner. Horton picks off that Flyer pass. Horton now looks for some open ice. Hangs on, fires the shot. And it's deflected off the netting and out of play. As we go to break, the last chance here for the Jackets. Anisimov drops it for Horton. Horton moves in. What a stop there by Emery. We talked earlier about the confidence in the young players. That was certainly a key word expressed several times by the Blue Jackets coach, including this one. When the Jackets needed a goal, they had the confidence to get it. Let's listen.
Previous years, there was a lot about trying to manufacture goals. You know, 3 or 4 things would have to happen for us to score goals. And what we're finding out this year, at least going through this streak that we're on right now, is I think guys are confident climbing over the board that if we need a goal or, we know that we can go out and do it.
And that's the key. Right now, they've got 6 guys with double digits, and when they do get over the boards, right now you have a little adversity. You got to show some resolve. That's what you have to call upon.
Now they need a goal here right now as they trail. The Flyers for the first time tonight as we approach the midway point. They've certainly been around Emery a number of times. Made a couple of key stops. The Jackets have sent it wide with glorious scoring opportunities as well. Simmons, poke checked away. LeCavalier slips and falls. Simmons attempting to get a stick on it. He too hits the ice. Backhanded by Jack Johnson. On here to Dubinsky, who's been around that net tonight. Atkinson setting up Calvert earlier on this period with a nice play. Matt Calvert pressuring. Atkinson in the corner. Simmons for Philadelphia. Headmans that puck to Coburn. Flyer defenseman sends a long shot in on Bobrovsky, and he'll hold on with 10:05 left of the second.
Hey, fans, text the keyword skate to 90561 right now to enter the Blue Jackets Florida Flyaway contest. You could win a trip to Florida to see the Blue Jackets take on the Tampa Bay Lightning. That's in Tampa Bay, Florida in April. Again, tonight's keyword is skate. Grab your phone right now. Text 90561 for your chance to win.
From the draw, Nikitin along the boards. Flyers had it briefly. Sent out of the zone. Here's a break. R.J. Umberger strike the man back. Knocked down. Following through, Johansson, who ripped it high and wide.
Good follow-up there by Johansson, just missing.
Johansson again. Off the wall for Umberger. With Foligno, puts the brakes on, drops it back. Savard with a wrist shot, and it's blocked up high by the Flyers and sent out of play. We will step aside. 9:37 left. Jackets trail.
Flyers lead here, Dan. A couple of good opportunities just here in the last couple of minutes. How do you even things up here?
Well, first of all, we're getting into trouble trying to dangle our way out of the zone. We got to get pucks against a team like this. You turn pucks over in your own zone, it's going to end up in your net all night. On the other side of it, if we play down here against their man-on-man defense and try and hold on to the puck and create, then we can have success. But if we're not going to get pucks out, we're going to be in trouble.
Yeah, and the Flyers very aggressive in their pursuit of the puck. They played last night. Is it possible to exploit them on that as the game rolls along?
Well, the idea is on any team you're trying to play back-to-back, you want to wear them down, especially if you can do it down here. Obviously, you got to be physical, but the more you can hang on to the puck and make them play defense, the more tired they live by the third.
He's talking about getting the puck in behind the defense of the Philadelphia Flyers and then work your magic. Work your opponent right now.
Pretty candid, very honest. Dan Heino about the Jackets play, in particular in their own zone. 9 minutes, 10 seconds left.
We're going to start making some lines north-south quickly. Let that puck, just like right now. You isolate that first forward checker, get up the ice quick. Wingers have got to help out.
On our Fox Sports Ohio Watertown scoreboard. Another Metropolitan Division rival in action tonight. The Rangers at home to Ken Hitchcock St. Louis Blues. Alex Steen has scored for St. Louis. Midway through the second period there, it is 1-0 Blues. The Blues got hammered the other night in New Jersey. Center is in, it's in the net. Great play by the Jackets. And McKenzie is able to find the back of the net to tie it up at 2.
Well, just exactly what Dan Heino, and he pictured it in his mind. You get the puck below the goal line, and then it goes back to the point. You get the first man on it. You can see just forcing the net, hoping something happens. But what does Murray do? Puts it back behind the net. There's a little support. And then McKenzie finding the seam between the defense, between the forwards, and again, chipping it over top of that blocker side, stick side of Ray Emery to tie this game at 2.
McKenzie's third, and what was that just a few minutes ago? You heard Todd Richards say when the Jackets need a goal, they get it, and they've tied it up again here in period number 2. Todd Richards talking about the confidence. Here, the puck played at center ice and rifled in by Philadelphia. James Wisniewski covering Anisimov. Puck comes free. Nathan Horton dropping a pass. Boone Jenner who pressures. Anisimov will hammer it in. McKenzie's third of the year. Anisimov should draw an assist. And he gets the primary assist. And Corey Trout picks up the second assist. A 2-2 tie. 7:55 left. A goal at 11:24. Bobrovsky's got it. And we'll leave it there for Fedor Tutin. Flyers come quickly. And it's Matt Calvert down the left wing. On here for Dubinsky. Played at the Flyers line. Philadelphia look to the left wing boards. Braden Shen sends it in deep. Simmons pressuring. LeCavalier below that goal line. Jackets shovel it to the corner. Dubinsky all over his man. Loose puck. On to Fedor Tutin. Tutin for Matt Calvert. Clearing pass for Dubinsky. The puck sails back into Jackets territory, and Dubinsky will walk it out. Dubinsky, right wing feed. Atkinson sends it right in on Emery, and he'll hold on with 7:07 left.
Well, right now on FoxSportsOhio.com, find out how the language of hockey is driving the Blue Jackets. Read about Pete Rose Jr.'s new managerial gig, and get the transcript from last night's Rinkside Chat. A complete coverage of all of today's action involving Ohio sports on FoxSportsOhio.com. There's a look at McKenzie, that fourth line. Letestu in the middle. McKenzie, he plays on that left side, and Trop, who is on the far left, he plays on the right side. All involved in that last goal. But a nice play by Murray. You know, Murray gets that puck deep, and Isimov feeds it out into the slot to McKenzie. But it was the excellent effort on that fourth line to be able to get that puck deep and start to rotate.
Just seconds earlier, Letestu went off for a well-deserved rest, and Isimov came on to replace him. He made that pretty pass, finding McKenzie in front. But it was the energy created. We talked about that earlier this period. The energy created by that fourth line. And the Jackets use that as a stimulus to continue with similar play.
And Jeff, you mentioned it as well, that line change, smart line change.
There, Voracek drills it. Rebound. Bobrovsky will hold on.
Well, that's what you see with Jake Voracek. Come across that line, get something on net, force the goaltender to play it. Well, after every Blue Jackets game, Fox Sports Ohio breaks down the game, talks to the players and the coaches on Blue Jackets Live, presented by IGS Energy. IGS Energy. Take control of your natural gas and electricity costs and enroll today at IGSenergy.com. Now there's a look at Jake Voracek. Jeff had mentioned earlier on about the hand injury, and it does not seem to bother him. He gets onto the ice. He basically has that nose to the grindstone, forcing everything to the net, and is playing with a lot of confidence himself right now.
I can tell you, talking to Greg Berube early this morning here in the bowels of Nationwide Arena, he loves Jake Voracek, and why wouldn't you? A popular member of the Blue Jackets while he was here, and under the watchful eye of now former Flyer Jaromir Jagr, why Voracek matured, and he has become a big part of that Flyers offense.
Boy, you hit it, Jeff. I mean, that relationship with he and Jagr, both will represent the Czech Republic in the Olympic Games.
Voracek from Kladno in the Czech Republic grew up idolizing Jagr. Little did he know at one point in his career, with a delayed penalty upcoming here, that he would have the opportunity to play with Jagr. Jackets will have a power play when we come back, but not before we show you the tying goal. Anisimov in front. McKenzie finds the back of the net. We're at Nationwide. Jackets seconds away from going on a power play, but before they do, let us remind you the Jackets right back into action as Saturday night they host Ryan Miller and the Buffalo Sabres. Tonight's 1,000 games. Well, they'll start the second 1,000 here at Nationwide Saturday night. Yet another key Eastern Conference rival. The Jackets continue looking for points here in the Metropolitan Division, and our coverage will begin at 6:30 with Blue Jackets Live. Coburn in the penalty box. The call is holding. Blue Jackets 0 for 3. They've had 5 shots on the 3 power plays. 3 on the first of the double minors, assessed to Hartnell, and they had 2 shots on the previous power play, but not found the back of the net. They came in tonight 9 for 29. Looking to get on the score sheet here with a power play goal. Wisniewski, who leads them in power play points. Letestu deals it back to Wisniewski. Big rebound off the pads there of Emery. 5:12 left, less than 90 seconds of the power play. Nathan Horton camped in front, sets the screen. Letestu with a shot, and Emery sees it through the screen and hangs on.
No, that's nice work by the Jackets. Again, you see the Philadelphia Flyers, they do like the pressure out high. If you move the puck around and utilize the width of that offensive zone, you stretch out the penalty killers, and that allows the puck movement to occur. And once they do, they want to be able to hit the net. They've got a little support down in front.
Dubinsky and all around that net tonight, out there with Calvert and Atkinson. Wisniewski, Jack Johnson remain on the points. Jackets win the draw. Wisniewski up high. Watch the line. Dubinsky drops to the ice, gets right back up. Sends it back here for Wisniewski. Jack Johnson, a one-timer. High and wide of the net. Dubinsky on that half board. Deals it back to Wisniewski again. Johnson fires. Big rebound, and Calvert can't get a stick on it. Again, it's Jack Johnson at the point. Emery just coughing up those rebounds when the Jackets can't get to him. There's a shot that sails wide off the stick of Wisniewski. It may have been deflected. Jack Johnson battling. On to Matt Calvert. Teaming and defending. Pass a little high. Calvert continues to hustle. Sends it in front. Wisniewski off the shoulder this time of Emery. Here's another attempt. That one by Atkinson. Emery trying to scoot back into the net. Jackets all around that flyer net. Wisniewski lets it fly. Steered aside by Emery. Emery must feel he's in a shooting gallery here right now. Jack Johnson. Wisniewski. The crowd certainly abuzz. Wisniewski, top of the circle, right in, and a big rebound played by Jack Johnson. 4 minutes left, 15 seconds in the power play. This is what the Jackets wanted in puck movement. Still looking for the back of the net. Dubinsky, Calvert wants it. He's camped in front. Wisniewski, backdoor, rebound off the stick of Matt Calvert. It's a power play goal, and the Jackets are back in front. 3 seconds remain in that Coburn penalty. Calvert able to redirect the shot in front, and it gets behind Emery.
Well, it's a great example that you don't have to shoot the puck hard to beat a goaltender. But what you must do is to be able to change direction. And again, that power play, they had been on. They had put pressure. There was a rubber factory going on. But look at the play by Wisniewski. He forces the front of the net. Watch it hit the skates of Calvert. It goes into the back of the net. What a job right there by the Jackets. Good puck movement. And again, Emery has to be tired because the pucks just continue to come.
Matt Calvert with the power play goal. His 6th goal of the campaign and his first power play tally. Wisniewski should pick up an assist. The holdup here right now is they're reviewing it in Toronto to see if there was a distinct kicking motion, but that went off his skate. There was no kick, no redirect. Let's get a look at it from the overhead right here.
Well, you can see Calvert trying to get himself into position. Now there's no kick whatsoever. That skate was in it. You watch the toe of the skate, and it goes right off of the toe of the skate as it's there. And into the back of the net, and they've called it a good goal.
As they should. Todd Richards with a point there for Calvert. I'm wondering if he was talking to him about maybe playing too tight to the goaltender on those rebounds prior to. The Jackets were all over Emery. They had 6 shots on that power play. They come again. Scramble in front. Loose puck still, and it's played by Mazzaros. Braden Schenn, the clearing pass, kept in by Columbus up high. Rolling puck. Swept here to Foligno. Foligno drops it back for Savard. On to Nikitin. In front, Johansson hands it to Umberger. Gets caught up in his skates. The Flyers will play it. And it's out of the zone. Wisniewski and Dubinsky pick up the assist. Wisniewski continuing to lead the Jackets. That's his 15th power play assist. And Dubinsky continues his mastery against Metropolitan Division rivals. Dubinsky adding to his points total to point number 22 in game 20 against the Metropolitan Division. Columbus 3, Philadelphia 2.
Jeff, the Jackets have done a nice job. You get down 2-1. What do? You show a little bit of moxie. You come back, 2 quick goals. That 4th line got it started, and then the power play.
Here's Letestu. On to McKenzie. Corey Trout. Feder 2. Jack Johnson rips it. That is off Emery. Played by Schenn. Good save at the line by Jack Johnson. Second effort. Flyers get it out, but the Jackets dump it right back, and Luke Schenn will play it. Schenn away from McKenzie. Long shot sails wide of the net. Blue Jackets on the power play. 11 of their 30 shots have come with the extra man, including 6 on the just completed successful power play. Blue Jackets now 10 for the last 34. Fans in the building are chanting in unison. They want Mason. The Mason chant has started here at Nationwide.
Well, the reason he is not in the net tonight, for those fans, he did play last night against Carolina in a 3-2 loss. But I know that he would love to be able to come back into this building and show his worth. That's the type of guy he is. He's a competitor. And congratulations to Steve as well. Just signed a new, is it a 3-year deal, Jeff?
Yeah, 3 years, $4 million plus over the next 3 years. And the penalty upcoming here for interference. Nathan Horton going back to the box.
Columbus save minor for interference.
Well, late in the period, and that's what you look at. The Philadelphia Flyers scored to begin this second period at 1:56. Now the Jackets will go on the kill. They want to be able to keep this in unison right now and being able to keep Philadelphia off the board. They've worked hard to get that lead. A minor penalty, interference is a call.
From the faceoff. Thrown back to the point here for Jake Voracek. Sent far side. Timonen lets it fly. That's off the stick of Bobrovsky. Giroux looks. Voracek. Handing to Wayne Simmons. Rimmed around the wall. Played there by Giroux. Up high. Timonen on to Voracek. 1:20 left. Simmons camped in front. 9 power play goals. 6 of them have come in the last month. Jackets shorthanded. Walk into the zone. Dubinsky. And there's a stop. And Emery's forced to hang on with the Jackets. Anisimov cruising in front.
Fans, the new All-Star Passport is the best way to guarantee tickets to the 2015 NHL All-Star Weekend. You can lock in your seats to see hockey's biggest stars right now. You'll enjoy 6 games of your choice at preferred pricing this season and the best seats at the best prices for a quarter, half, or a full season plan next season. For details, go to BlueJackets.com today.
Minute 9 left in the period, 1:28. We had the Horton penalty for interference. Jackets aggressively pursue the puck, walking out of the zone. Second effort, left in front of the net. LeCavalier unable to knock that bouncing puck out of the air. And behind Bobrovsky, here's a backhand attempt. LeCavalier, Jackets back on their heels here right now. Final minute of play. LeCavalier, a second penalty upcoming here against the Blue Jackets. Shot by Streit. Played to the far side. 6 skaters on. An attempt sails wide again. Cross ice, getting a stick on it there was Letestu. And the Jackets will be 2 men short here with a cross-checking penalty assessed to the Blue Jackets.
Let's listen to Paul Dvorsky.
Yeah, Columbus penalty, 2 minutes for cross-check.
Looks Fedor Tutin making his way to the penalty box. Well, let's take a look. And usually when that cross-check is being called, it's usually in front of the net. You'll see Tutin go down. We'll see if he gets back up and utilizes the stick after the fact. Yeah, right there. Good. Downey put himself into position just on his way up. And Tutin helped him.
25 seconds left. 25.5 to be exact in the period. Horton has 45 seconds remaining. And a key kill needed here. Jackets are going with 2 forwards, Letestu and Dubinsky. And from the drop, Jackets are able to clear it between the 2 defensemen. Jack Johnson.
A great face-off win there by Letestu.
Dropped by Timonen. LeCavalier, left wing feed. That one could have been offside. Jake Voracek. Thrown back up high. Final 10 seconds. Giroux hangs on. Jack Johnson from his knees, able to defend and send it down. That'll do it as far as the period is concerned. And there are 19 seconds left on the 2-man advantage as the third period begins. Dubinsky arguing here as to where the Flyers lined up for that faceoff. And he's talking to the linesman here right now as the teams head off. But the Jackets score a pair of goals less than 5 minutes apart in that second period from McKenzie and Calvert to follow up the LeCavalier power play goal. And the Jackets lead after 40.
Hi, I'm Jim Jeffries from Legit. The new season starts on FXX. That's unnecessary subtitles. Whatever I say, it's going to keep going here. Is it? This is kind of offensive, really. I'm not that hard to understand. You wouldn't do this to Harry Potter or James Bond.
Legit. The all-new season premieres February.
That guy's British! Well, you can understand him and not me.
Only on FXX.
Ah!
Better budgeting. One of the top resolutions for people at the beginning of each year. Here's one way to budget better with your electricity bill. AEP Energy saves customers money on electricity supply with real savings real fast. All you need is a phone or a computer and 5 minutes. Or you can look for this in the mail. What's the catch? Well, nothing. It's that simple. And it's all from a name you know and trust. AEP Energy, America's energy partner.
So how does 24-hour grace from Huntington work? Bless you. So how does 24-hour grace from Huntington...
Boom in the shot.
24-hour... I tripped. I'm sorry. So how does 24-hour grace from Huntington work? Like that. If you make a mistake and your account is overdrawn, we give you more time to make it right and avoid the overdraft fee. No wonder we're one of Money Magazine's best banks in America. We're going to do it again, aren't we?
Columbus Blue Jackets hockey on Fox Sports Ohio, brought to you by Roche Honda. For the best deals on new wheels, it's Roche Honda. All but set for third period play. Jackets will be 2 men short for 19 seconds. And you got to look at Derek McKenzie, who has a goal here tonight, his third of the campaign. But right now, let's check out tonight's AT&T Rewind. For that, we head to Buffalo, where the Sabres are hosting the Carolina Hurricanes. The two teams, the Blue Jackets, will face in their next 2 games. We pick it up on the second, tied at 1.
Well, the Buffalo Sabres get on the board, make it a 2-1 game. That's Brian Flynn, his fourth from Perron and Marcus Foligno. And then it's just a matter of 10 minutes later. You watch that shot by Alexander Semin from Sekera and Falk. That made it 2-2, but Tyler Ennis, he scores 48 seconds into the third period to make it a 3-2 game.
Well, the Jackets, we'll talk about importance of winning face-offs. A key draw here as they serve out the remaining 19 seconds of a 2-man advantage on Philadelphia's side. Giroux and Dubinsky will take this face-off. Jackets going with 2 forwards here. And from the draw, Hartnell comes up with that puck. Sends it ahead. Letestu knocks it down, lifts it up, and out. 12 seconds remain of the 2-man advantage, and Emery will hand it quickly to Timonen. Horton standing at the penalty bench. 5 seconds remain. Flyers gain the zone. Horton getting instructions as to where he goes. Up high, it's Timonen. And Horton will come back. Puck ricochets off a Blue Jacket stick, played in the corner. Jackets down a man here for the next minute and 5 seconds. Long shot sails wide of the net. Dubinsky will chop it out of the zone, and Horton and Dubinsky are replaced. Letestu's already gone off. Wisniewski and Jack Johnson paired on the point. Letestu back on here. He's up high with McKenzie. Moved by Wisniewski, up and out over Mazaros. McKenzie hustles in. Flyers strike. 32 seconds remain. Fedor-Tutin poised and ready to return to the ice. 23 seconds remain in that penalty. Jackets, Jack Johnson moves it up, but not out. Mazaros trying to feed Downey, pinned along the boards. Jackets move it up again, but can't clear the zone. That one, oh boy, awfully close to being offside. Less than 10 seconds remain. Downey to the point. Mazaros, one-timer there, sails wide of the net. Jack Johnson rims it around the board. Strike can't keep it in, and that'll do it. Tutin steps out. The Jackets kill off the 2-man advantage, and the Tutin penalty to boot.
Well, they did a nice job again, just maintain their structure in their own zone. Good anticipation on where pucks were going, and it started from the initial faceoff.
That should provide a lift for the hockey club. 1 for 4, the Flyers tonight. 7 shots on their 4 power play opportunities. Ward battle won by the Flyers, but the Jackets block it, and Foligno races after it. Coburn will get there, lumbering deep into Flyer territory. Foligno got a piece of Coburn up high. No penalty, undetected by the officials. Umberger pressuring. There's Johansson deep on the forecheck. Coburn sends it cross ice. Grossman pressure. Dumps it back behind the net. Coburn's got to get there ahead of Johansson. Slides it back. Grossman, a right wing feed for Voracek. Can't get a stick on it. And play is called.
Well, this is where, again, your four lines can start and continue to kick in. Philadelphia played last night. The Jackets have gained the lead through that second period, and with less than 20 minutes to go, this is where you can use your bench to your ability. I know that's exactly what Todd Richards, Craig Hartsburg, Danny Heino, they're talking about. Let's get back, good discipline. Let's play some 5-on-5 hockey.
Jackets, Dubinsky looking for Calvert on the left wing. Atkinson, one stick on it. But the Flyers are offside. 2:51 into the third. Our AEP power play summary. Up to the moment, both teams, 4 opportunities. Both teams 1 for 4. The Jackets with 11 shots. Calvert with his first power play goal of the season. And his 6th of the campaign.
Yeah, that 4th power play of the Jackets, Jeff, 6 shots on goal, and they dominated that offensive zone.
Less than 17 minutes left, third period. The Jackets are called for icing here.
No, there's a look at Craig Berube, the chief, coming in, taking over for Peter Laviolette, and he has the respect of everybody in that room and anybody that's ever played for Craig. And Jeff, I know that you know him and spent a lot of time with him in Washington. He's a class act.
Yes, he is. And he's a player's coach for sure. The players have nothing but the utmost respect. And he's tried to emulate a couple of his former coaches. One, the former Blue Jacket coach in Ken Hitchcock, but the guy that he really felt that he learned a lot from was Daryl Sutter, who was here, of course, with Los Angeles the other night. Less than 2 years removed from winning the Stanley Cup. He was always in control, said Berube on the bench, and kept his players calm. Dubinsky, and scores! There you go! Dubinsky deserves it. He's been all around the net. And he picks up yet another point against the Metropolitan Division rival, and specifically these Philadelphia Flyers. The Jackets lead by 2, and what a wrist shot.
But where does it all start? It's the work by the Jackets. They got it low. They tried to make transition out of their zone. Philadelphia did, but it was Matt Calvert. He was on the puck tenacious, and he found Dubinsky in the slot. And boy, I'll tell you what, Dubinsky wasted no time. Look at that shot. And the torque on that stick. And I'm sorry, but Emery never had a chance. It was by him before he had a chance to look up.
Dubinsky with a goal and an assist tonight. 23 points in 20 games against the Metropolitan Division. That familiarity with teams like these Flyers, Rangers, Jersey Devils, and New York Islanders. And Dubinsky, you could tell from the opening shift here tonight, he had his A game going. He's had a nose for the net and is rewarded there with a huge goal. The Jackets have now scored 3 straight after the Flyers have taken a lead. And the Blue Jackets, with 4 goals tonight, continue averaging better than 3.5 goals per game on this winning streak. And leading the way tonight is Dubinsky with a goal and an assist. And how about this? The Flyers have now allowed 3 goals or more in 8 straight games. That is the current longest streak of allowing 3 goals or more in the National Hockey League.
And right now, the Columbus Blue Jackets want to continue to build. You talked about the 3 goals. Now they've been able to come back. They do not want to stop. They do not want to quit, and they will utilize their entire bench.
There's Letestu. Far side of the ice as we approach the 5-minute mark, and that chant for Mason back here in the building tonight. They've got everybody on this one. As it's dumped in. Ray Emery played the previous game here, won 6-3 by the Jackets. 4 more goals here tonight. And in the last 2 meetings as Letestu is down and appears to be a little bit of difficulty here. But a penalty upcoming to let Hartnell. Hartnell is headed off.
I'll tell you what, you do not see Mark Letestu stay down on the ice long. But let's get a chance to see what happened, because this happened behind the play. And see good communication. And let's take a look and look to the bottom of your TV set. you'll be able to see exactly what happened after the fact. There you go right now. And you can see as he goes in, he ends up getting paid. And that's where you want to be able to look right here. Back to the play. And again, oh boy, that's dangerous. That's the responsibility. You got to throw the brakes on, but Hartnell refused to do so.
Boarding is the call. A minor penalty for boarding. It could have been close to a 5-minute major. Because Hartnell came from a bit of a distance there, but a minor penalty assessed at 4:53. And the puck sent down the ice. And we played here by Wisniewski. 32-24, shots favor the Jackets. They lead by 2, less than 90 seconds on the power play. Rifled in and off the net. How about the Ford game summary, Bill?
Well, go back to period number 1. It was all Jackets. Jack Johnson got it going at the 8:20 mark. Again, shots on goal 14-9. And then Braden Shen, his 14th of the year. And McKenzie, Calvert, Dubinsky after the fact. LeCavalier had a power play goal in there. But since the midway portion of period number 2, the Jackets found their legs. They got it back, a power play goal. But they've been hounding the puck all night long and keeping the puck 200 feet away. Which right now, it's a 4-2 hockey game because of that work.
Dubinsky walks in. Pass for Calvert on the wing. Calvert and Tooten draw the assists on that Dubinsky goal at 3:29. One-timer here, and it sails wide. Emery never saw it. Up high, Dubinsky. Keeping it away from Reed. Slides it across. Hustling there. Unable to keep it in was Jack Johnson. Pass was an errant one. But hustling to get to it was Jack Johnson, and he'll circle the net. Less than 14 minutes left here in this third period. Atkinson darts in. Atkinson chopped away, and Reed will send it the length of the ice. Swept behind the net. Johnson now. Head up, skates to center. Dumps in. Jackets power play. Less than 30 seconds remain. Horton along the near boards. Anisimov trying to settle down that bouncing puck. Jenner gets it. Rims it around the wall. Up high, Jack Johnson. Horton heads to the front of the net. Flyers clear.
The Flyers put on the pressure. The Jackets in the last 2 entries have dumped the puck deep. Why? They're going to get the puck deep into control below the goal line and then force Phil.
Oh, nice move by Horton. Walks in and scores. What a move by Horton. As the power play expires, Horton walks around the defenseman. An outstanding shot to beat Emery, and it is 5-2. Fourth goal with the Blue Jackets.
Well, that's what you can expect from Nathan Horton. That is pure skill. Good breakout coming up. You're 5 abreast, and watch the move right there. And then the quickness on that shot to beat Emery. And that, again, was by Emery before he turned his head. Watch the wrist shot of Horton right here. Inside the post to make it a 5-2 hockey game.
And that goal comes 1 second after the penalty to Hartnell expired. The Blue Jackets 4 straight goals and lead 5-2. What an effort, walking around the defenseman and then depositing that puck behind Emery for his 4th. And you will see several more highlight reel goals by this guy. He can fire the puck. Ryan Murray picking up yet another assist. And the Jackets lead 5-2. Here comes Nikitin. Played by Luke Shen. Umberger, Foligno looking for Johansson. Ryan Murray, the lone assist on the Horton goal. His 4th, 5-2 Jackets. And that Mason chant seems to get louder with each goal. The Blue Jackets score. But you're not going to see Mason in the nets here tonight. Umberger able to redirect it up high, but not out. Reed looking for that return feed. Jackets sweep it back into Philadelphia territory. Flyers walk it to the line. Lead pass. Ruffle steers it off into the corner. Giroux attempting to get to it. Matt Calvert Calvert banks it off the boards. Played there by Strite as we approach the 9-minute mark of this third period. Jackets led 3-2. Had to kill off a 2-man advantage late in the second, early in the third. And have answered here with a pair of third period goals. Walking around that Flyer defenseman and depositing it into the net.
Lately on Fox Sports Live, Jay Onrait and Dan O'Toole, they bring you all the scores, all the news, and all the highlights you need. Don't miss Fox Sports Live. That's nightly at 11 on Fox Sports 1. To find Fox Sports 1 on your provider, go to foxsports1.com right now, and they'll tell you where it's at.
Nathan Horton with his fourth, and it was a beauty. Incidentally, on our Fox Sports Ohio out-of-town scoreboard, we're scoreboard watching indeed. St. Louis in front, 2-1. Steen and Shattenkirk have scored for the Blues. Rick Nash has his 17th for the Rangers. If the Jackets win and the Rangers go on to lose, the Jackets will move to within 1 point of second place in the Metropolitan Division. They will pass the Flyers, at least as far as the tiebreaker. The teams will be tied as far as points are concerned, but the Jackets have games in hand and have more wins. Puck rifled in there by Mazzaros. We approach the midway point of this third period on a historic night for the Blue Jackets, their 1,000th game, and looking to extend their franchise record winning streak to 8 games. Braden Shen with a shot that was deflected wide. Jackets move back up ice. Johansson through the neutral zone, tries to stick handle his way through the Flyer Hockey Club. There's Strite. Able to come up with it. Pressure there from Foligno. Gets it ahead. Simmons. Strite battling now against Foligno. Toss behind the net for Grossman. Jackets pursue the puck deep in the zone. Wayne Simmons turning away from traffic. Dances in front of his own net. Johansson chasing. Jackets keep it in, but a penalty upcoming here. Hooking will be the call. I believe Johansson will head to the box, and indeed he does. Waste little time getting there. Horton, the torque on that one. And he beats Emery. 2 Jackets lead. A look at the respective goaltenders here tonight, and that brings us to our Ohio Health great save. Bill.
Well, it's a 1-1 hockey game, and you watch the captain of the Philadelphia Flyers, Claude Giroux, right off of the toe of Sergei Bobrovsky. What a save it was. Again, Giroux in all alone to be able to make that save. Bobrovsky in the right spot.
And Bobrovsky's got to stand tall here now. Jackets a man short. 5th power play for the Flyers. They are 1 for 4 with 7 shots. Johansson for hooking. And the Jackets shorthanded. 8 shorthanded goals given up by these Flyers. The Jackets move into the zone. Juggled and held by Emery.
A smart play there. Smart play by Emery.
All rights to this broadcast are reserved, and any rebroadcast, recording, retransmission, or other use of the broadcast without the express written consent of the Columbus Blue Jackets is expressly prohibited.
Well, there's a look at Mark Letestu. No worse the wear. He ends up getting hit earlier on period number 3. Nice play, killing off this penalty. Good opportunity, but a better save by Emery.
Left wing feed for Hartner. Drop to the point. Backhanded ahead into the corner. Jackets defend. Loose puck sent up and out. Unable to keep it in. Timonen now. Walks into the zone. Sends a backhand in on Bobrovsky. He will hang on.
Well, join the Blue Jackets and over 35 other professional sports teams and businesses at the Nationwide Arena. That's going to be on Tuesday the 28th. It's the Blue Jackets Career Fair. Registration, $26. You pay that in advance. That includes a ticket to the Jackets game that night versus the Ottawa Senators. Visit bluejackets.com/careerfair 2014 for more information.
8:50 left. Shot blocked in front of Bobrovsky. Cavalier racing to it. He has the power play goal for the Flyers. This one goes off the netting. Jackets will argue for a face-off outside the zone, and they're going to get it. Flyers, as well, arguing that it went off a Blue Jacket, but the draw will come on the dot outside the Columbus blue line with 1:14 remaining in the Johansson penalty. LeCavalier, who's moved back to center for this one tonight, he's been playing on the wing. And what they like to do is set up LeCavalier for the one-timer, similar to what we saw on that goal. The Jackets win the draw, Dubinsky, and they send it the length of the ice. And Murray, in fact, bouncing one in that Emery had to glove.
Good shortstop right there.
It was interesting watching the Jackets practice. And they were, the other day, in fact, even today, similarly, bouncing pucks from a distance on Bobrovsky, similar to what you just saw Ray Emery have to stop. This one from the point, redirected off the netting, and again, out of play.
Well, there's a look at Ray Emery, and you talk about Nathan Horton and where he's from in southern Ontario. Nathan, of course, from Dunnville, Ontario, born in Welland. Well, Ray Emery was born about 8 miles outside of that small town of Dunnville called Cayuga. There was a junior C team where Ray Emery got his start. By the time junior came along, well, Nathan Horton was already playing in Thorold at the age of 13.
Right side. Flyers. 36 seconds left on their power play. This is Giroux dropping it back. Teaming in with a shot. Look at Bobrovsky. Sees it through the crowd. And all the traffic and hangs on.
Well, a nice save right there by Bobrovsky. And how about Kimmo Timonen? This will be his 4th Olympic Games. And we've had a chance to watch him play in Nashville. An offensive defenseman, quarterbacks, a power play. Owns his own team back over in Finland. And one of the fine gentlemen in the game today.
From the draw, unable to keep it in were the Flyers. And Emery's way out of the net to play it. 7:50 left. Kimmo Timonen started his NHL career with the Nashville Predators. Hits Voracek in full stride. Voracek deals to the wing. Voracek has that patented skate when he is flying. Certainly something to watch. He waits in that far circle. Giroux trying to hit Timonen. Outsteps Johansson. Jackets have killed it off. Backhanded and just wide. Johansson sends it to center. Dumped in by the Flyers. Philadelphia 1 for 5, 11 shots. The Jackets 1 for 5. Or excuse me, it is 9 shots for the Flyers. The Jackets have the 11. Both teams 1 for 5 of the night. Coburn deals it onto that right wing. Fired in by LeCavalier, former captain of the Tampa Bay Lightning. Tossed off a skate. Anisimov getting up gingerly. Walking it off. Now a race for the puck. Jenner with Horton. Pressuring Coburn. Horton unable to knock it out of the air. And icing is the call. 6:33 left.
I'll tell you what, you know, Anisimov has played so well, and you can look at the offensive statistics all you want, but there's an example in his own zone where, again, you're taking away a passing lane, you're blocking shots, you've got an active stick, the big body. Boy, is he going to be an addition to the Russian Olympic team, and he is so excited to represent his country. It's just good to see him right now playing some of his best hockey for the Columbus Blue Jackets tonight.
At center, nice move by Matt Calvert to steal the puck. Dubinsky into the slot. Rolling puck sent down by Atkinson and blocked in front of Emery. Second effort. Emery hugging that near post. 6:10 left. Flyers out of the zone. Couturier in pursuit as Ryan Murray slides ahead and the Jackets shovel it in. Loose puck played by Wisniewski away from traffic, and McKenzie hammers it off Letestu, who hustles down the wing. Left side goes Corey Trop. He wants it in the slot, gets it, but can't send that one-timer to the net. He was poised and ready, but unable to play that puck. Meantime, Couturier had it knocked away from him at the opposite end by Letestu. Derek McKenzie with a clearing pass to the right wing boards. Picked up there by Corey Trop and hammered in. Emery. Voracek denied as Johansson got a stick on it. Looks for Foligno along the near boards. Bumped there by Giroux, who slips and falls. Johansson walking to the front of the net. Tried to pull the trigger. Was knocked away. Was not put down with a high stick. And the Jackets play it, so play allowed to continue. High stick. challenged by a Flyer player, but the Jackets are called here for icing. 5:08 left.
Well, there's a look at Todd Richards, and the approach to the game tonight was all businesslike. Game 1,000, he says, after the fact, yes, it is. It's a milestone. Great to be part of it, but right now our focus is to continue to climb in our divisional standings against a divisional opponent. And I think from the drop of the puck tonight, give or take a few episodes throughout the night, he has to be happy with his hockey team.
Here. Late at the line, Jackets clear the zone. It's rifled back in by Coburn. Jackets, Savard, Nikitin shovels a backhand pass for Anisimov. Umberger, Jenner there. On comes Horton as Umberger heads to the bench in the slot. Braden Chen, one-timer there by Simmons. It goes off Bobrovsky. Simmons camped in front, took that pass and quickly shoveled it to the net, but Bobrovsky was there. Last line of defense. 4:29 left.
Well, the smile is about right now. Nathan Horton, Sergei Bobrovsky. Sergei has really played well. Again, this continues on. Could be 9-0, and this is what's this tonight? Game 11 for Nathan Horton coming back.
No, it's game number 10.
Game 10, 9-1. I mean, what can you say about this guy? Just having him in the locker room just kind of bleeds success in his experiences.
More than a coincidence. Here, Jenner with a wraparound attempt. He had the game winner the last time the two teams played here in Columbus. Steered aside. Played on that far side by Hartman. Horton knocks him down and then is tripped up. Anisimov from the corner. Back for Jenner. Cycles up. Boone Jenner. Jenner tripped up. And a penalty upcoming. Mazaros will head off. They're going to call it holding. The Jackets will go back to the power play. Jenner having a few words with Mazaros. They're separated. We'll be right back. Time for our Big Lots Big Play. There's Derek McKenzie. He is tonight's subject of that Big Lots Big Play.
And helped the game. It was a 2-1 game for the Philadelphia Flyers, and this jump started it. Anisimov, he came on the ice after a change, and he finds McKenzie. It was all verbal. Give it to me. He finds the back of the net, made it a 2-2 game.
Incidentally, on our Fox Sports Ohio out-of-town scoreboard, Madison Square Garden in New York, 4 minutes, 4 seconds remaining. St. Louis 2, the Rangers 1. A power play for the Blue Jackets, who lead here 5-2. Mazaros off for holding. And the Jackets go to the power play here with a face-off to the left of Emery. From the draw, Calvert with a goal and an assist here tonight. Tripped up. Moved by Atkinson to the point for Wisniewski. James Wisniewski. Dubinsky. Back for Wisniewski. Calvert sets the screen in front. Jack Johnson. Wisniewski, the one-timer. Blocked in front of Ray Emery. Comes back to Wisniewski again. Less than 3.5 left. A shot wide off the stick of Dubinsky. Jack Johnson, who got the first goal for Columbus. And a 1-0 lead after 20 minutes of play. Jack Johnson hangs on, looks. Dubinsky waits up high on the far side. It goes off the defender, Van Velde. Here's Jack Johnson. Rebound left. Calvert cannot gobble it up and backhanded home. Penalty upcoming.
Yeah, they're going to give a penalty, a hooking call to Calvert.
That will nullify the power play. 3:01 left.
And that's Justin St. Pierre making the call. Let's listen.
Columbus 11 minus for hooking.
You watch down below the goal line as they chase the puck. Stick in the stick in the midsection, goes up underneath the arm. And you can see the work below that goal line, but again, 4-on-4 hockey now for 1 minute and 12.
Calvert for hooking. 4-on-4. That one goes off the skate of Anisimov and wide. Less than 3 minutes left. Flyers will have a brief power play at the conclusion of the penalty to Mazaros. Nikitin dancing away. Keaton with a pass off the stick there of the Flyer defender. Philadelphia move up ice. Left wing pass. Schenn lets it go. Braden Schenn denied as it's turned aside by Bobrovsky. 22 seconds remain in the Flyer penalty. And then a Philly power play. Great individual effort. Much to the delight of the crowd by Foligno, and a penalty upcoming here. This time to Philadelphia, so forget that power play. Jack Johnson drops it back for Jenner. No, they didn't score. The hockey stick broke, and the blade went into the net behind Emery. But the fans thought the goal was number 6 on the night. But it was Jenner's blade that broke on that attempted shot.
Philadelphia, 2 minutes for Schlott.
A slashing penalty to the Flyers. And you'll get a look at it here.
Well, the thing was the cheer. The cheer inside Nationwide Arena. And as it went into the net, everybody was screaming at the one end. They thought the puck had followed suit. But no, a broken stick. But the Jackets, they'll again play 4-on-4. Then they'll have a power play to be able to finish off this hockey game.
2 fans in the building. In fact, several thought it was the puck that entered the net. But Coburn goes off for slashing as Jenner's stick broke on that attempted shot. Minute 45 left. We remain 4-on-4. Portman has the 5th of the 5 goals tonight by the Blue Jackets. 5 different goal scorers here. Savard. Oh, there's a high stick and another. No, they're not going to call a penalty. But Jack Johnson took a high stick there. The referee was right there. Justin St. Pierre was right there and didn't make the call. Reed. Dancing away from Jack Johnson. Johnson kicks it free. There is Anisimov. Final minute of play. Here's a pass for Calvert. Matt Calvert lets it fly, and it's wide of the net. Van Velde will clear it between the 2 defensemen. Final minute. The fans on their feet here at Nationwide. Take a look. Game number 1,000, a historic night, and the Blue Jackets will extend their franchise record winning streak to 8 games, the longest current streak in the NHL. The Jackets are on the power play, content here on running out the clock. The Blue Jackets will take a series lead over Philadelphia. More importantly, the Jackets will now climb into 2nd place in the Metropolitan Division. And pending the outcome of tonight's game in New York, within a point of the Rangers, who trail St. Louis by a score of 2-1. We'll update the score in the standings on Blue Jackets Live postgame. But the Blue Jackets defeat the Philadelphia Flyers 5-2. Nathan Horton with a goal. 5 different goal scorers. McKenzie, and they mob Sergei Bobrovsky, who improves to 7-0 since returning from that groin injury. The fans are on their feet, many reluctant to leave, as the Jackets have now recorded 8 straight victories. 5-2 the final. Blue Jackets outshoot Philadelphia 39-28. They've won 8 in a row, a franchise record.